Hi everyone, and welcome to our Soul Tribe webinar, where tonight we are going to be talking about our beautiful program, the Soul Project. But in particular, what we're really going to be talking about is we're going to be talking about how our products and our program really supports lung function. So one of the things that you will, that I don't know whether you'll find that out tonight, whether Maxine's going to share that tonight, but I certainly loved that the fact that a lot of the research that our company are doing is one of the studies that they've done is around lung function and how our products are really are proven to improve the function of our lungs, which is incredible when we hear such amazing stories around how people with asthma, their symptoms start improving, and in some cases they even start disappearing. So I'm Tanya, and I'm sorry it took me so long to introduce myself, and I've been part and been a customer actually, not just being part of a distributor for this beautiful program, but I'm actually have been a customer for 3 years, and I just absolutely fell in love with this program and this product. It supported my health, my daughter's health, in fact my family's health. So I'm a great advocate for it. I'm not huge on research, but I know that Maxine, who will be sharing next, is huge on research. She just loves it. But I do love that we not only do we have stories from customers that proves that our product and our program works, but we actually have the research behind it to prove that it does work. So I do love that about research. So I'm going to stop talking now, and I'm going to pass you on over to the beautiful Maxine, and she's going to share about our product and our program, specifically our product and how it supports lung function and general health.
Hi, thank you, Tanya. Yeah, I'm Maxine, and I have had an amazing story with healing my asthma. But first, I'm just going to talk a little bit about the program that we are introducing to you in terms of what it can do for lung function. So we have a beautiful mind, body and spirit program. We do believe that you need to actually create healing on all of those 3 levels and bring all of those 3 things into harmony. Yeah, so our program is all online. It's all within a community of other people that are doing it. So there's a very supportive community for everyone reaching their goals, whatever those goals are, around their health and their mental health and their well-being. And so we do a lot of work around meditation, journaling, gratitude, grounding, centering, how to deal with challenging thoughts, how to deal with anxiety, how to really start addressing those things that are fundamentally causing blocks in our lives that are interfering with us being able to actually move forward and do things about our health and about our lives. And another aspect to our program is that we have a beautiful nutritional support system, which we feel is completely essential to the harmony of these 3 things. Because as we know more and more about our gut and how closely it's linked to our mental health, to our serotonin production, all of those things, we really feel strongly that supporting ourselves nutritionally with a really good program of supplementation is a really crucial part of any wellbeing program. So I'm going to talk a little bit around those products that we partner with in our program. So we partner with the Juice Plus products. So essentially these are our core products. They are fruit, vegetables and berries in a capsule. Very simple, but very brilliant and exactly really what our body needs. So what Juice Plus does is we get fruits, veggies and berries. We compress them and pulp them in a low oxygen, an oxygen-free, low temperature environment, so all the enzymes and nutrients are completely preserved. And then we pop, when they've been dehydrated, we pop them into a vegan capsule. So they're all completely GMO-free, dairy-free, completely safe for vegans. And the other thing is we have 30 years of, we've been around for 30 years and we have over 30 research papers backing our products. So one of the research papers that we have, which Tanya talked a bit about, was to do with lung function. What they actually did was they got a large group of smokers, and they gave them the Juice Plus supplements. And what they found was, even though they continued their smoking habit, their lung function actually improved quite substantially. So we can connect you to that research if you want to read more about it. But that's basically the nuts and bolts of what happens. So even in a person who isn't necessarily doing all of those things to help their health, this is an amazing foundation that we're doing. We can give the body to heal and start improving. So yeah, basically that's fruit, veggies and berries in a capsule. Absolutely beautiful, high quality. Our methods are all strictly controlled and independently audited, so what you're getting in your bottle of Juice Plus is exactly what it says it is. The other thing that we do have, which I won't go into too much detail, but we also have the children's chews, fruit and vegetable chews, and they are actually free with every adult order for children between the age of 4 and 18, which is an incredible commitment on the part of Juice Plus to really start children off healthy in those formative years when they're creating the building blocks of their body and how their health is going to be for, you know, a very long time, for their lifetime. They're very committed to starting those children out right. So the other product that we have are our beautiful plant-based omegas. So these are made from algal oil. And so what happens is the fish normally eat algae, and that's how we get our algal oil out of fish. And it's really kind of a long way of doing it. We really just go straight to the source and grow our own really clean algal oil in a contained environment. So there's none of the usual problems of toxicity and contamination and mercury that you get with fish products. Also, obviously, really wonderful from the point of view of sustainability. We already know that our oceans are under stress. This is a way that we can get those beautiful omegas without having to sacrifice the environment as well as the algal oil. There's a blend of beautiful seeds, which are also very high in a variety of omegas. So it's a blend of the different omegas, and it's cold pressed so that it's very high quality. A lot of the supermarket omegas are quite rancid because they're not cold pressed, they're heated up to be produced, so not actually very good in your body. So we love these ones. They're so good for you, and we get a lot of good feedback about that. The final products that we have are our beautiful macronutrients, our protein powders. These are a blend of over 20 superfoods, all again all plant-based, GMO-free, dairy-free, gluten-free, like all of our products. And these are really a beautiful digestive blend of various seeds, ancient grains, gluten-free grains, pea powders, different fruits, vegetables in there as well, mushroom, yucca powder, so on. Like I said, 20 different beautiful superfoods, absolutely no rubbish at all, no added sugars, very high in protein, very low in fat, and very low in natural sugar as well. Less sugar in each sachet is less than a pear. And they are a beautiful restorative, quick and easy way of getting nutrition and protein into our bodies. So that's basically our range. We don't, we basically just give the body everything it needs to start running and to start healing. So I'm just going to talk quickly about my story with asthma. I have been a chronic asthmatic for 30 years. I have been on, prior to going on the program, I was a very heavy user of Ventolin. I couldn't really tolerate a lot of the preventative puffers that they give asthmatics. A lot of those preventative puffers can cause allergic reactions and side effects. I wasn't really able to use them. So I was really pretty much, my choice was just to use Ventolin. So particularly in the winter months when asthma gets worse, I might be using my puffer 4, 5, 6 times a day, and that was really the only option I had available to me. I also found, particularly in winter, I would always get a chest infection. Anyone who's got asthma or knows someone with asthma will understand that you just get chest infections all the time because you have this weakness in your lungs. You pretty much cop anything that's coming at you. So what I found when I went on the program was that my immunity improved massively. So since I've been on the program, I haven't actually been sick at all. Let alone, have a chest infection. So now I'm into my 3rd winter and no chest infections. And I just can't really explain to you how amazing this is, because the winter before I went on the program and these support products, I had a chest infection that was so chronic and so bad. I had 3 sets of antibiotics and it just wouldn't go away. And I was really thought for the first time, well, what happens if I just get an infection that doesn't go away and that I can't do anything about? It's very scary. So I honestly feel like with this kind of condition, you really need to get something preventative on board. That's the other very tragic thing with asthmatics, is quite often people die of asthma because they go to hospital, they have all the drugs, they have all the oxygen, they have all the injections, and it's still not enough to save them. So I feel that the more you can do to prevent going down that track and getting into that situation, the better. And for me, I can't speak highly enough about this program. It's given me amazing immunity. I'm now at the point where I very rarely use my inhaler. As I've said, I don't get chest infections anymore, and I'm in the middle of winter in New Zealand now. It's freezing cold. I can go out in the cold and I don't get asthma at all, really. So huge, massive healing for me, and something I never really thought would happen. So that's my story. If you're looking at this, please do try this program or recommend it to somebody with asthma. As I've said, it's a very scary and very serious condition which often gets worse over time. So, nip it in the bud with something that's only going to do you good on all levels. Now, I am not sure, am I handing over to Karen? I'm handing over to the gorgeous Karen, so thank you.
Hi everybody, thank you Maxine for that epic share. My name is Karen, as you know, and I pretty much leapt at the chance to jump on this webinar this evening. I like Maxine, have been a lifelong sufferer of asthma and bronchitis, and it is horrible. Absolutely, I would not wish it upon my worst enemy. I fell across our amazing program, it will be nearly 2 years ago, so I've had officially 1 winter, and these products, I never thought I would actually get rid of my asthma or reduce the symptoms. Like I said, I have been a chronic asthmatic from day dot. I remember growing up in a childhood where I couldn't do sports. At the blink of an eye, I too would get colds. The colds will start in the nose, you end up down the throat, and then you end up with a massive chest infection. I do recall times where I was so sick as a child that I couldn't even actually walk. I would have to crawl to places, which is really disheartening. And like Maxine said, really, really freaking scary to actually go through. Asthma is, yes, it's to do with your body, but it also, in my opinion, affects your mind, how you actually look at life, how you think about different errands that you're going to run. As a child, obviously you want to get out and play with your friends and things like that, but you don't have the immune system to be able to do that. So your sort of livelihood is diminished. As an adult, I've gone through my entire life with it. I would always carry my Ventolin inhaler with me. I would actually have a backup. I used to travel extensively in life to far-flung places that don't have the type of hospital facilities that one would need when you get asthma. So I was always very aware in the back of my mind, where is my asthma inhaler? Where am I going? And do I have A, insurance, and B, places that I can get to, or my backup inhalers? So having been on this freaking program, which is absolutely amazing, I no longer worry about where my asthma inhaler is. I am able to go out in the hot and the cold. I can, changes of season have been particularly difficult for me. Like I said, things start in the nose, throat area, and then you just pray that it doesn't go down into your chest. So this program has been phenomenal for me. Like I said, I'm going into my second winter. I'm actually looking forward to it. Maybe cold outside, but to actually be able to breathe normally, to be able to exercise and utilize your lungs and your body as it's meant to be utilized, and enjoy being in my body, is absolutely epic. And it is truly preventative. Obviously my immune system has got everything that it is needed to build back better, to increase basically what I have. So loving the products, loving the fact that they're all natural, they're whole foods, it's nothing but Mother Nature, dehydrated and put in a capsule. And obviously if you have children, because we have a lot of asthmatic children in this country, you have these amazing chews that are so easy for them to take, and the benefits are endless. So thank you for listening to my story, my little story. Tanya, Maxine, thanks for allowing me to share. If somebody has sent you the video, this link, please reach out to them. If you're curious, you just want to know more, because they are truly life-altering for people who have asthma. And it's not just us big people, it's the little people as well, and they are our future generations. So why not give them a boost and a kickstart to life? Thanks for listening. I'm going to hand you over to Tanya.
Thanks, gorgeous. Love these stories. Love. So I myself was also an asthma sufferer. I actually developed it when I was 14 years old, and I actually was part of a research project where asthmatics were tested on, how bad the symptoms are, and it was a New Zealand environment thing, and it was really quite cool. But what was difficult about it was the fact that I had to be on a drug regularly. So I had to be on a steroid preventative every day, and I was also still getting attacks. So I still had to use a Ventolin inhaler, which wasn't much fun. So, but what I found was, the biggest triggers for me was every time I drank alcohol, I went out with my girlfriends, had a good time, drank alcohol, laughed too much, I get an attack. Change in temperatures, again, was something really big for me, and exercising was another thing that was really big for me. It was hard to do. So I always had to make sure I had an inhaler with me. Now, when I was probably about 8 years ago now, those symptoms started reducing, because I started doing a lot more work on myself in terms of what was I eating, not having so much dairy and things like that. And I found that I didn't really need to use my preventative inhaler the same, which was really good, but I still had to use my Ventolin. So I still had the attacks. And something that I did find is in the winter time, like Kieran and Maxine talk about, is when I got sick, it would always go to my chest. I didn't necessarily end up with a chest infection, but when I got a cold, I got really heavy in the chest and really sore, and it took me a long time to get over it. And this lasted for quite a long time. And so, you know, being part of this program has also meant that I haven't had to even go near my inhaler at all. And I don't get sick anymore. So I get through winters, I get through, you know, I just don't get sick like I was. So that's been a really good one for me. But I think what's been the most amazing thing for me is my son. He was born with asthma. So I know they don't talk about how children aren't born with it, but honestly, he was born with it. He had bronchiolitis at 3 months old. He had all the asthma symptoms, and of course the doctor wouldn't diagnose him until he was 2, because that's what they didn't do, because you can't diagnose a child until they're 2 apparently with asthma. But he was on some kind of inhaler from a really young child, and he's had it severely. So he's had it severely all his life. He's now 23. He's been on the products, and he was preventative dependent, and had to take Ventolin as well a lot because he had a lot of attacks. He ended up in hospital a lot. He even had a collapsed lung at one point. So at one point it was every year he was in hospital. It was always around winter time. So every time he got a little cold, he'd end up in hospital because he couldn't breathe properly. So it was really scary. For a mum, it was really scary. And here he is, 23. He's been on the products now for, goodness, how long has it been? It's probably been about 18 months now since he's started. Yeah, and he's been changing his diet too. That's the other thing. Changing his diet, taking, you know, less gluten, less dairy. But the big part of it is seeing that he doesn't actually walk around with his inhaler anymore. He doesn't use his preventative. He's never had to use his preventative. He doesn't take his asthma inhaler everywhere with him as Ventolin. And he said he doesn't get sick. He used to get sick all the time he would get sick. And this year he just hasn't. I mean, he's got a slight cold at the moment, but even he said it's not nearly as bad as what it is. He said, Mum, it's been 3 days and I've got a little bit, you know, of a runny nose, but he said it hasn't gone to my chest, and he's feeling so much better. So he improves quicker, and he doesn't get sick as often as what he did when he was getting, you know, sick a couple of times a month. So I'm just a full believer in, you know, fruits and veggies and nature's medicine, and love that the research proves our beautiful stories. I also love that as a mum, for any mums here that have children that have asthma, this is an amazing lifesaver. And of course, our products mean that children can have the truth for free. What an amazing gift that we can give to our children to support their bodies to heal and support their lung functions to improve. So that's pretty bloody exciting, actually. So yeah, like Maxine and Kieran said, please get your questions answered if you're really wanting to know more, because this is an incredible opportunity to create better health and for us to breathe easier, especially in New Zealand, when New Zealand has such a high incidence of asthma. So thank you for listening tonight. And like I say, if you got any questions, please reach out to the person who sent you this, because it's an amazing program, an incredible opportunity to create good health. And have a beautiful evening.